welcome guys. Welcome to Aligned FX Peak Finder. I'm going to make this video pretty simple. I mean, most of it you can figure out for yourself, but just to kind of give you a little run through of how this thing works and what we're going to be using it for. So this is the dashboard. This is what we're looking at on every single time that we are looking at the charts. This helps reconfirm direction. It helps reconfirm pivot points and specific peaks that give us guidance on where the market's going to go for the next few days and how we can capitalize on the movement in that direction. Some go longer than that. Some peaks are not all correct, right? You have to use your own analysis, use what you've learned through Forex and kind of realize what is real, what is not. I would use this in tangent with the chart analysis that I do, because we go over all the recent peaks. We go over ones that are set up. We go over ones you guys want me to go over. We just break it down, and then we just narrow it down to which one do we want to really look at, which couple, because there could be 6 new peaks, and we're just going to look at one. Like, it is what it is. So let's get started. So this is where you're going to see all of the pairs that you want to pick, right? If I want to pick different pairs, I mean, I have all the Forex pairs here. I have all 28, and then I have US 30 and gold. But if you want to like switch it out, we have everything on here minus stocks. We don't use stocks anymore. We used to have it, but just more people are kind of looking towards the Forex and metals. So we just stick with those. But if you wanted to add anything you want, you can just go down to the bottom and like click USD pairs. It'll give you all the base pairs, most of them. Some of them you don't need to trade, like the USD TRY. You don't need that. Like, you know which ones, like GBP USD, Euro USD, USD CAD, USD Chief, AUD USD, right? If you want to do some crypto, you can go into crypto. But if you can't find the one you're looking for, you can just type it up, BTC USD. And it's going to pop up right there. All you got to do is click this plus symbol, and this will refresh, and it will be on the side. Watch. And it adds it right there, right? And it tells you there's a peak formation high 5 days ago. So if I want to get rid of it, I just click that, and it's good to go, right? So you can just mess around with that, which ones you want to do, which ones you don't want to have. And if you want to keep it narrow, keep it narrow. It's up to you. So, and then this is the dashboard button, right? So this button just brings you right back here, kind of refreshes it. This button up here, the Aligned FX symbol, what it does is it refreshes the whole place. So if you're on here already and you want to get like an update, maybe a new day started, which they start, this refreshes every day at 5 p.m. Eastern. Give it a few minutes. Sometimes it delays a little bit, but at 5 p.m. Eastern, that's when this will reset and you'll get new peaks. All the numbers will go up they'll go up a higher number, or they'll reset back to 1 if there's a new peak. But you just click that button and it just does all that, right? So one thing that I think you guys would appreciate, which I found that was really awesome, was if you guys want to organize the top part of the dashboard so that you can see clearly, you can do that. And the one way that I do this is I click on this little status button, and see how all the numbers are kind of just like out of alignment. They're not in order. By clicking status, it's going to first make it go from the highest peak all the way down to the oldest peak all the way down to the newest peak. But if you want it to be the reverse, click it again, and it's going to give you all the most recent peaks. And this is what I use for the analysis. It keeps things organized. It keeps me like just prioritizing which ones are more important. And if I see anything like with the gold check marks, I'll go over that in a second. I'll check them out too, but usually I don't really tend to do that. Or if you want to be alphabetical, you can click alphabetical, the pair, and it will organize everything in alphabetical order. So that's different. I don't use that. I just like to keep my eyes focused on the peaks so that we know what we're going to be looking for and that we can make this thing the best experience. Now, this button is the university button. Right now, we currently don't have any videos at the time of the recording, but by the time you guys start watching this, there should be more videos in there. We're going to be constantly updating stuff, adding new content, whatever we have. We have the Discord as well, so we're going to be putting things in there. It's going to get better and better. This button brings you to your little reset aspect of your profile, and then this one logs you out. So you don't really need to worry about any of that. I would just focus on this part, keep everything organized, and then let's go over the peaks. So the question that you guys are probably having now is, what's the gold check marks? Well, if you go to this top right button here, which says legend, it's going to give you a description of everything here. So right here, PFH stands for peak formation high, in which case you'll notice that the peak formation highs are red, meaning we are going to be looking for sells. And the vice versa for PFLs, which is peak formation low, they're green, we're going to be looking for buys. And you have the status. I already told you the location. It's going to give you You can organize it in the way you want it to. The bullish trend, bearish trend. And then right here is we have a new peak. So one thing you guys need to realize is this is based off of calculations and formations that go in line with the market maker method, right? So we got 3 days of rise, 3 days of fall, midweek reversals, false midweek beginnings, end of the week kind of consolidates out, right? Like little things of how market structure goes based on the market maker psychology and how they trap retail traders. So when we're looking at trends, right, there's going to be mini trends within bigger trends, and sometimes these trends are called market maker trends, and that is the trend we really want to be focused on, and we identify those by looking for the gold check marks. So when you see a gold check mark, like it says here, it's a new peak, it's a new trend, but it's a verified trend, right? Sometimes we get a peak and it's not verified yet, and that could mean maybe, hey, it's going to actually keep going the wrong direction and that peak's not valid. Sometimes it could mean that these ones are legit with the gold check marks. Maybe they're not all legit. You have to do your due diligence, but it has been through the time that we've been utilizing this and going through it and back testing. These have been legit more times than they have not. Just a matter of making sure by doing your due diligence. So if we look at AUD Chief, for example, like last night, this pair called a peak formation low to start on Friday. This was Friday and this is Sunday, Monday. And you could have rode that up and held it. I mean, this pair, if you go look at the weekly right now, this thing has got to go up for a hot minute if you look at the side. So this thing is going to be going up for a minute. And then if you want to go to like the next pair, NZD Chief, it'll load up, peak formation low, dropped down last night. It missed my pending by 5 pips and it shot up, right? So there's so much that you can do with it. And you have a little part here that kind of just shows you where recent peaks were, just to show you like, hey, this called a peak, but look, now there's a new peak. That's when you have to zoom out, do your analysis and confirm the direction. Now you have the flashing, right? So you're probably wondering what these flashing buttons are, and these are simply the ADR. Now, based on market maker trend, when a new peak is formed, they tend to move 3 times the ADR, right? So let me show you guys something. Let's go to here, right? I have this little HUD, and I'm going to do a separate video for this of what you guys are going to get. But right down here, let's just skip to it. It's going to say 3x ADR. The 3x ADR is 3 times the average daily range of the specific pair you're on. So if you divide this number by 3, you'll get how many pips this one pair, NZD Chief, tends to move in a given day. Now, what happens is after a peak is formed, in this case, this is where the peak was formed, right? What they're going to do is they're going to go from where the peak is formed, because once the peak is formed, we have a brand new slate. It's like there's no movement on the ADR yet. If that says 158, then that means this pair is looking to go 158 pips up, meaning this was just the start. So if this is already almost 95 pips up from the peak, maybe this means it's going to push up a little bit more and go straight to the 3 times ADR, or maybe it's going to pull back a little bit and then push up again to breathe to be able to make movements throughout the week, right? So it gives you structure points, and that's super powerful. So if we go back to the dashboard, you'll notice that the numbers here, like AUD Chief, says peak formation low, it's only moved 1.29 ADR, meaning that it still has about 2.71 ADR left. So it's got room to move, right? The moment it gets past 3, though, you'll start noticing this, right? So it says peak formation high. Mind you, if whatever it says, if it says peak formation high, you look at the section that says PFH. You don't go to PFH and then, oh, look, the PFL still says it's less than 3, so we're going. No, it's PFH matches with PFH, and if the number is still less than 3, it still has good momentum. But the moment it goes past 3, it starts to blink. And all this tells you is that 3x ADR has been achieved and that there could be a reversal. Doesn't mean there will be, right? Because, I mean, you got pairs like this. Look at this. AUD NZD called a 13 days ago peak formation low, meaning if we just go back 13 days, you'll see this, and that means the ADR was hit a while ago. I mean, it went 2 times past it, almost 3 times past it, the ADR limit that it usually goes to, and that can happen. You have to know the due diligence of how you look at the market. You have to look at the bigger time frames. You have to look back and see, well, if that is breaking ADR, maybe it's because it's trying to reach an imbalance on a higher time frame, an order block, or it's reaching a supply and demand zone. Whatever it is, like you can justify it, right? But you have to know what you're looking at, and we go over that in the analysis too. So my suggestion is, if you want to keep this simple, if you see blinking numbers, just avoid that pair, because that means there's a reverse ellipse coming up and you may just want to be able to capture the new peak, right? So that's what I've done. I just avoid the pairs that continue to do this. And then when they reset or they set a new peak, we grab those reversals and we ride them out. So it's really, really fun, guys. I mean, and then on top of that, and it's the vice versa for peak formation low, right? So just know that. Match the letters with the letters. PFH, go with PFH. PFL goes with PFL. But then we have trading view embedded in here. And this isn't something like you can add your own indicators. You can't do that. This is a very base model of trading view, but it shows us where the peaks are. And then all you have to do is go into your platform. So I use MT4. You can use MT5. If you want to go into your own trading view, you can go to your own trading view. It's completely up to you. We'll be updating this as we go. Who knows? There might be something else that we are able to code into this in the future. But for now, we just use this to show us where the peaks are. And then we go to the other platforms to just confirm and do our own analysis. So, but you can still draw like, trend lines. If for those of you that want to do that, you can do that. If you want to, see like that, you can delete it. You can make the screen bigger, just like that. And then all you got to do is click the escape button on your keyboard or that little top button. Or if you want this to be bigger, something that I figured out is you can just zoom out and it makes it bigger by default, makes the top bigger, or it makes the top smaller. It's really interesting. Oops. There we go. I have mine set to 90. Okay. So it's anything you can do. Actually, I didn't have it set to 90. There we go. Hold on. All right, so that's the dashboard overall, guys. This is very, very simple. This is going to be very powerful, and I feel like everybody that is a trader is going to end up using this because, I mean, if you just know direction overall, you are going to be able to sleep at night. For those of you that take trades before you go to bed, this will help you sleep. For those of you that like to just get up and know overall what direction to look for to save you 30 minutes of analysis, depending on how many pairs you go through. If you go through all the pairs, then it's going to save you a bunch of time just to focus on which ones actually have the formation you have, or you can do it the long way. It's up to you. It depends on what you like. But overall, this is meant to just cut the time down so that you guys can get the best opportunity to get in on a pair that's doing some solid moves, has solid breaks of structures, change of characters, and ultimately just make some good money. So I hope you guys find this fun. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us in Discord, talk to the group, and we'll be sure to help you. See you in the next video.